Happening now, the latest on a COVID-19 cluster at the Jamestown Fire Department. Plus, we get an update on where stimulus talks stand, why our local congressman says it could take until next year to get a deal through.
Well, it's been a wet morning throughout much of the day as the remnant moisture of Tropical Storm Zeta continues to move its way northward, but it's going to change to some wet snowflakes overnight. I'll tell you about it next. The news at noon starts now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Health leaders are working to contain a cluster of COVID-19 cases within the Jamestown Fire Department. In a statement to the media last night, City of Jamestown officials confirmed the news. At this time, city officials say 6 positive cases have been confirmed out of the 55-member fire department. In accordance with state and county guidelines, affected members have been contacted by the Chautauqua County Health Department for isolation and quarantine. Now, the city's municipal building remains open at this time to help visitors. They are required to wear masks and social distancing while visiting the building. Leaders are reminding everyone in the community to remain vigilant, wear a mask, and social distance. Well, Chautauqua County officials reported 19 new cases of COVID-19 yesterday, bringing the total number of confirmed cases to 1,006. Of the new cases, there are 7 in Fredonia, 6 in Dunkirk, 5 in Jamestown, and 1 in Sinclairville. There are currently 132 active cases countywide. Of those active, 6 are employees and 38 residents of Tanglewood Manor. 18 employees and 52 of the residents associated with that outbreak have recovered. The Chautauqua County Health Department continues their investigation regarding a cluster of cases within the northern section of the county, which they say was a result of a private event. At least 17 of those cases have been linked to the event. 7 cases do remain active, with 10 recovered. Now, as of last check, there are currently 21 people hospitalized with COVID-19 in Chautauqua County. Well, we're 5 days from the election and President Trump is in Arizona continuing his battleground state swing to garner votes, while his Democratic challenger Joe Biden is off the trail and receiving a health briefing. It's a key reminder of the one thing that may differ between the 2020 race and others, the coronavirus pandemic. Nadia Romeo is in Washington with more on the impact of COVID-19 on the election.
As President Trump holds rallies with cheering supporters,
that's a lot of people.
Joe Biden is off the campaign trail, attending a virtual discussion on the COVID pandemic.
It's going to take a lot of hard work to end this pandemic. I'm not running on the false promise of being able to end this pandemic by flipping a switch.
The president insists
we're turning that corner, and it's been pretty amazing.
But the numbers and health experts tell a different story.
I think the big issue is there doesn't seem to be an end in sight.
Data from Johns Hopkins University shows just this month, 29 states have set records for the most new daily cases since the pandemic began.
I think it will be easily by the end of 2021 and perhaps even into the next year before we start having some semblances of normality.
Voters are adapting to a new normal, many casting ballots in a different way this year. Already, the 2020 early vote total is about half of the 2016 turnout. It's driven in large part due to young voters.
We've seen an increase in the number of people asking questions about how to get registered to vote and trying to get registered to vote.
Early voters are more likely to be Democrats, which is why the pandemic-era president presses ahead in swing states, hoping to convince every last supporter to cast a ballot, despite the coronavirus crisis. In Washington, I'm Nadia Romero.
Nadia, thank you. Former President Barack Obama will join his former VP for a joint appearance this Saturday in Biden's effort to reclaim Michigan for Democrats. The campaign says their message is bringing Americans together to address the crises facing the country. Well, meanwhile, several Democrats in Chautauqua County are calling out the progress to appoint the next Democratic election commissioner. This after the vote on the recommendation of Liz Torres for the job was withdrawn last night. Former Jamestown City Council President Greg Rabb spoke out against the way that Torres, the current Democratic election commissioner, was appointed as the replacement for Norm Green. Rabb's comments came last night during the Chautauqua County Legislature meeting, minutes after it was announced that a resolution confirming the appointment of Torres was removed from the agenda. Rabb says that he and others are not against her appointment because she is a minority female. He says the process is grossly undemocratic.
But I've been watching this process as it unfolded, and you all heard comments from various individuals tonight about how deeply flawed the process is. It pains me to watch my Democratic committee not be small d Democratic. It's wrong. It wasn't done properly.
Marcia Johnson, she's the Fredonia Pomfret Democratic chair. She says the process was fair, adding that everyone, including candidates who also spoke out publicly against it, agreed to the structure of the commission election.
Not one person said there was a problem with the process. Not one of them. When they had the meeting to decide the process, they had input and they all agreed to it. The election was held. Ballots were sent out in the mail due to COVID, and they agreed to get together and do a Zoom meeting, which was open to anybody in the whole country to watch.
Now, several opponents of the appointment claimed that the election bylaws of the county Democrats were changed in 2018, an allegation that Johnson refuted. She says Torres is certainly qualified for the position based on her work as the deputy commissioner. Torres was recommended to the position by the Chautauqua County Democratic Committee earlier this month. The legislature's Administrative Services Committee previously approved a resolution allowing the appointment to be voted on, which was then tabled. The term for the next commissioner would start January 1st and last 4 years. Well, we thank you for joining us here for WNY News Now as we continue to cover the 2020 election and so much more that is coming up just days away. Let's check in with the comments now and say hello to Connie. Good to see Cindy, John, Kimberly, Dora, Lindsay, Alan, Walter, Peggy, Steve, Sue, Wendy. Good afternoon to you. Thanks so much for joining us. Great to see Pam, Gina, Christine, and Lisa as well. Hopefully everyone is having a great day, and we do appreciate every single one of you joining in. Let us know what you're thinking about in the comments below, and I'm sure the weather is going to get everybody talking over the next couple of days. Let's get to Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter now. And Dakota, we talked about it yesterday on the show, but that rain outside will be changing as we head throughout.
Yes, it will be. Happy Thursday, everybody. And the rain definitely is going to be changing over to that white stuff as we go into the nighttime hours. Here's a live look from the Warren City Bank. The fall foliage still showing up here a little bit, but it has been wet. And the rain today is moving from south to north. And the reason for that is because we have Tropical Storm Zeta, which is actually to our south and east, which is throwing some of its remnant tropical moisture our way. So notice on the radar time lapse, it's slowly, inch by inch, Niagara Falls. Anyway, you can see how it's moving up to the north, and this is going to continue throughout the day, and this is where the rain is coming from. That's the remnant circulation of Zeta right there. So you can see how wide this tropical moisture is. But yeah, as that colder air filters in tonight, it's going to be changing over to some snow showers, mainly across the hills, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Storm spotter training comes up tonight at 7 o'clock. Now again, this is not the springtime session, which focuses on thunderstorms and severe weather. This is a wintertime storm session, which is going to talk about winter storms, lake effect snow, and how to properly measure snow a good thing coming up here recently. And so if you want to register for it, weather.gov/BUF/Skywarn. We need more spotters, so I highly encourage that. It's free to attend, fun for all ages. I highly encourage that. 49 was the high yesterday. We started the day at 39, 79, and 34 are the record highs and lows for this day. So through the afternoon, rain is going to continue its march from north to south, or south to north today. Heavier downpours, especially near the New York-Pennsylvania line, and especially in northwestern Pennsylvania. A cool day overall. 42 on the hills, 51 at the Lake Erie shoreline with a northeast wind. But yeah, we get some colder air tonight, and some of that snow could accumulate. I'll tell you where and how much in just a few. Justin?
All right, Dakota, thank you. Well, the 2021 Chautauqua County budget was approved by lawmakers last night, including an increase of 5 cents per thousand in the full value tax rate. Lawmakers did voice concern with the budget, and they had a great deal of uncertainty because of the COVID-19 pandemic. However, when they first presented the budget, Chautauqua County Executive P.J. Wendell said his plans reflects the impacts and realities of governing in a COVID era. Wendell says department heads and his administration work to shape a realistic and workable budget for the upcoming year and heading into the future as well. Well, without going into detail, the New York State Department of Health is now proposing rules to regulate hemp-derived CBD products. The state's proposal would require lab testing and labeling to ensure consumers are getting what they think they're buying. The new rules would allow hemp-derived products such as all topicals, edibles, and the like. However, the rules would prohibit companies from claiming any impact on diseases or illnesses. There are currently 700 licensed hemp growers and 100 hemp product manufacturers across the state, which the number will likely continue to grow as new laws are passed. Well, coming up next, the latest change to New York's mask mandate in the era of COVID. But first, where does the next round of stimulus stand? Congressman Tom Reed explains why it's taking so long to get a deal done. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
I'm Jason Schmidt. I'm a former felony prosecutor and a criminal defense attorney here in Chautauqua County. I've worked both sides of the system for the past 15 years. I'm the only candidate endorsed by local law enforcement. Police here in Chautauqua County know what's going on. Each year here in Chautauqua County, the police make about 1,000 felony arrests. In 2019, only 17.4% of those arrests resulted in felony convictions. I know how to fix their problems, and that's why I'm running for district attorney.
As a former county executive, I know exactly the challenges and opportunities that we have here in Chautauqua County. That's why I'm very proud to support P.J. Wendell for county executive. His knowledge, his experience, and his leadership are exactly what we need at this moment in time. I would ask you all to please support P.J. Wendell for county executive.
Wendell has the experience, he's got the leadership, and he's got the knowledge and ability.
One of the most important characteristics of a successful county executive is being able to surround themselves with the right people for the right situation. And that is exactly what P.J. Wendell has done. Having direct experience in county government is absolutely critical, and no one should start out as county executive with having no experience at all with county government. So P.J. Wendell brings that experience both as a long-term legislator and the former chairman of the legislature. He has my 100% support.
For the past 9 years, I've been a prosecutor right here in Chautauqua County, fighting to keep this community safe. My family lives here with me in Fredonia, and I grew up in Sherman, New York. Fighting to make sure that these communities stay safe is so very important to me. We have the highest caseload of any county in this state, and as your district attorney, I'm dedicated to making sure that each case gets handled the right way for not only the victims, but for the people that live in this county. I'm fully invested in this community, and I'm fully invested in this community's future. Vote Patrick Swanson for Chautauqua County District Attorney.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
And welcome back to WNY News Now. Once hopeful that lawmakers could reach an agreement on a new stimulus package, Congressman Tom Reed now says that he sees the Democratic leaders were only interested in playing politics. Reed says Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senator Chuck Schumer were not sincere in serving the American people, and they put party politics above the good of their constituents. Now, if a deal isn't reached in the next few days, which does seem unlikely at this point, progress won't come until at least February, the congressman warns.
I was hopeful she was sincere and that she was going to cut a deal for the American people and was negotiating in good faith. But it is clear to me that it was Pelosi and Schumer now showing their true cards that they were never going to do a deal because they were putting politics first.
The congressman also says he expects a close race between President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden. He went so far as to say he wouldn't be surprised if the election ended up being another Bush-Gore event, with the courts deciding the matter. Well, after receiving a request from a county executive downstate, New York State Governor Andrew Cuomo says the county and city governments are now allowed to issue mask mandates for students and area schools. Cuomo made the announcement during his COVID-19 briefing yesterday. Now, along with this announcement, the governor shared the latest numbers as the pandemic continues. Right now, he says New York has the second lowest COVID positivity rate in the U.S., only behind Maine. On the other hand, our neighbor to the south has a much higher rate. Cuomo says Pennsylvania's positivity rate is 12%. The majority of the U.S. is listed on his travel advisory, which requires state residents to quarantine when returning from a state with a high infection rate. The governor reminded residents that the advisory is not a ban on travel. Well, right now, there's no FDA-approved vaccine for COVID-19, but researchers are racing to create one. So what goes into making a vaccine? Our Mandy Gaither took a look at the process.
It's a complicated process. Each step of creating a vaccine involves a lot of small details, each of which take time.
And at the end of the day, that's really what you want, a vaccine that not only is efficacious, but also is safe.
Dr. Jennifer Pancorbo knows all about vaccines in her role at NC State's Biomanufacturing Training and Education Center. She says the first step is design. Here, researchers learn about the virus, how it spreads, attacks, and takes over the body. Once that's understood, scientists can find a place to stop the virus along its pathway.
So that's what companies are trying to do, trying to use genetic materials to help the body find their path to the pathogen.
Next comes manufacturing. First, what's called upstream process, where she says researchers grow cells and produce the vaccine component or active ingredient that will be put into the vaccine. It then goes to the downstream process where the vaccine component is purified, separated, and put into the final formulation, one that is stable, ready to use, and easy to transport.
And that's how you end up with a vaccine in a vial or in a syringe that travels around the world in a fairly stable manner.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Mandy, thank you. The FDA says safety and effectiveness are the top priorities for a vaccine. The agency's commissioner said this week that the process does take time because at each step, the FDA wants to analyze the data. Well, homebound and bored because of the pandemic, lots of families are turning to an oldie but a goodie for some entertainment. They're playing Monopoly. Sales of this classic board game are soaring, and toy company Hasbro is reaping the benefits. The company reported a 21% jump in game sales as a result of homebound people looking for ways to occupy their time. According to Hasbro's earnings release, branded Star Wars and the Mandalorian toys are also delivered strong revenue growth. However, Hasbro's overall revenue dropped 4 points because of TV and film production delays. Still, their CEO says the company is expecting a good holiday season. Certainly Monopoly, a big favorite in my household, and I remember as a kid, the games would last forever. It'd be hours and hours until someone got so mad they flipped the board and ended it all. That's what I call the nuclear option. Let us know what you think about in the comments down below. Good to see Connie. Thanks so much for joining us. Lori, Joy, Donna, Jamie, and Cassandra. hopefully everyone is having a great day. We appreciate you tuning in. Let us know what you think about these stories and more in the comments below. We always love hearing from you. And one thing that I mentioned at the top, everybody seems to be getting ready for, is the snow. But luckily, Dakota, it seems like we're not going to get a ton of it anyway.
Yeah, that's true. And, you know, Monopoly is a family favorite in my house.
Yeah.
But, you know, in terms of games, we've never had like a game where we've gotten so mad we flip the table over. Or,
well, that's good.
I mean, you know, it's just a game, you know. But I will say, my mom, we played, I think, a few months ago. My mom hasn't played Monopoly in a long time. Beginner's luck. She wiped everybody off the floor.
Well, that's all that it takes is really a couple of really good
She
moves.
cheated. What are you talking about?
Oh, did she have a little money under the desk?
No, I don't know. But anyway, let's get into the weather. And updated drought monitor yesterday. Some good news here. Parts of the area is no longer in a drought. Yes, where you see this little hole right here. This is not a glitch in data. This is actually the drought has been removed across this area here because that's where the most amount of rain has been falling so far this season. But we are still under the severe level drought, especially out in Cat County and then further down to the south. So that is becoming a bigger problem, but we're continuing to erode the drought. So we need the rain. So the rain is all beneficial. And here it is for you on First Defense Doppler. Again, this is all moving from south to north. And the reason for this is actually it is almost tropical in nature because it is the remnants of what is left of Zeta, which is right here. Right now it is down to a tropical storm now from a hurricane. So it currently has a 50-mile-per-hour winds, but look at the forward motion northeast at 48 miles per hour. That's how fast this thing is moving. It has just continued to gain speed here, and this is going to be moving like this out to sea, but we are getting some remnant moisture from the remnants of it as well. And that's depicted here from on top of the DoubleTree Hotel. 42 degrees as a noon hour, northeast wind to 7, and the wind chill is down to 38 degrees. So we do have a little bit of light rain falling, and the rain is going to continue throughout the afternoon as well. So let's take you through it here hour by hour on the computer modeling. You can see here that the rain is going to continue spreading from south to north. And again, there could be a few breaks in the rain coverage as well, but watch what happens as we go into overnight. Colder air is going to start to filter in. Then we get into this blue color. That's the snow that's going to change over. I think as we get into the nighttime hours, it's going to be a wintry mix across much of the area. Then as you work into the colder pockets, especially out to the east, this is where the most amount of snow could be. So that's why it'll be more snow out there. We may get a few little patches of snow, especially across the western southern tier, especially by the morning hours tomorrow. And that'll continue throughout the day tomorrow with breaks in between. So snowfall. What are we looking at here? Well, I think once you get to the western southern tier, maybe just a grassy accumulation. That's it. I'm not expecting anything big. But once you work up into the hills further to the east, this is where the most amount of snow could be, up to 1 inch in Cat County. Then when you work out to Allegheny County, you could see upwards of 2 inches on the highest hills there. Now, understand the snow is going to be confined mainly to the highest hill. So if you live if you live across the lower elevations, you may not see a whole lot. But and again, it's mainly going to be down there in the hill. So Halloween forecast, not a whole lot of change here, but we have updated the temperature just a little bit. We're going around 42 degrees, mainly clear, and the south winds will continue 5 to 10 miles. So it'll be a nice night for trick-or-treating. But again, if your town is having trick-or-treating, make sure you check with that, and also make sure you do it safely, the mask, the social distancing, and use hand sanitizer as well before you hand out the candy as well. How about the future? Next 7 days are coming up for you right there, brought to you by 42 degrees and sunny. 38 tomorrow, just cold up to 2 inches on the hills. Further to the east, Halloween 46, should be mainly dry there. And then on Sunday, we bring in another chance of rain, 48. Monday, we drop the temperature way down and a better chance for more snow. Some of it could be accumulating. We'll keep an eye on that over the weekend. As you go out and vote Tuesday, 42 degrees, rain and snow showers, and the sun will be back on Wednesday with temperatures in the mid-50s. We'll take a break. Be right back. Don't go away.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news. You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
First Defense Weather is sponsored by 42 Degrees and Sunny, smokin' deals on smoking accessories. Learn more at 42degreesandsunny.com. That's 42degreesandsunny.com.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
I'm Jason Schmidt. I'm a former felony prosecutor and a criminal defense attorney here in Chautauqua County. Each year here in Chautauqua County, the police make about 1,000 felony arrests. In 2019, only 17.4% of those arrests resulted in felony convictions. It means that in less than 2 out of 10 serious crimes, the victims of those cases receive justice. 17.4% is not a number that's acceptable for me and my family. It certainly isn't good enough for yours.
Hi, I'm George Borrello, and I'm proud to serve as your senator for New York's 57th Senate District. In fact, in my first year, I've passed many pieces of legislation as well as helping people and businesses in these challenging times. From fighting for a safe, common-sense reopening of our state's economy during the COVID-19 pandemic to continuing the push for the repeal of the state's flawed criminal justice changes, which have made us all less safe, I am working hard for you every day as your state senator. Your vote will help me continue my mission to boost New York's economy, struggling from the COVID shutdown, and for small businesses not just to survive, but thrive. I will also continue to hold the government accountable by reviewing policies that led to the tragic nursing home deaths statewide. I'm proud to represent our beautifully diverse region, and I will be honored to have your vote on Tuesday, November 3rd, so that I can continue my work fighting for you. It's not about rhetoric, it's about results.
Paid for by Borrello for Senate.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
And welcome back. Finally here today, Coca-Cola and Amazon are teaming up for a contactless experience. Coke's Freestyle machine, we have one of those at Wegmans, uses a touchscreen interface and features more than 200 drink options. But soon, you won't have to touch it anymore. The beverage company has teamed up with Amazon Web Services to create a mobile pour solution. Basically, you operate the machine with your smartphone. There's no app. All you have to do is scan a QR code on the machine, which brings the touchscreen interface right to your phone. Then you press pour until your cup is filled. More than 30,000 machines are now equipped with this new technology. Amazon says all of the Freestyle machines in the U.S. will have it by the end of the year. That's pretty cool. Certainly, a lot of people don't know this, but Amazon Web Services powers a lot of things, including some of the innards of our website here at WNY News Now. So we're not connected to Amazon in any way, but a lot of mobile apps and phones and websites run that. It's almost like the new Adobe, if you think about it. They say, in Java. Wasn't that a thing for a while, Dakota? They're like, Java powers everything. It's in your microwave. Now you never hear of Java.
Yep. Java, Flash, it's all gone away. Those were these old plugins you had to download for your web browser in order to view content online. Right. But those have all gone away in favor of, HTML5. So that's all gone away, and thank goodness. Yeah. But, I've seen one of those machines before at the Dairy Queen up in Buffalo on Transit Road. They have one of those where it's a big touch screen and you select what you want and whatnot. But I think that'd be cool. Our smartphones have even more uses now.
Right, and I imagine it probably just pulls up a web page that has control over it. And now, what if you keep it pulled up, someone else comes and you change their flavor mid-pour? They should, that's, you gotta think, I wonder.
Yes, it's like, those RF, it's like the RF remotes for like the Roku.
Yeah.
You could operate the thing like in the other room.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We have a ton of these Roku TVs and around that's what we have. And you can change the remote. Like I could turn on the other TVs. With this. It's pretty cool, actually.
It's a nice little practical joke.
Yeah. Or with the app. like on the mobile app.
With
You
the
can
app,
connect
yep,
if you're on the
it's got
same.
the remote built into it. Yep.
Yep. I do so many pranks at home with that. It's crazy.
I bet your girlfriend absolutely loves you
Oh yeah.
Well,
I'm in the bathroom changing the volume.
I'm not going to go any further with that. Let's take a look at tonight's forecast.
That's all I'm doing.
Yeah, rain
Changing the
showers.
volume.
Yeah, sure. Rain showers mixes with snow overnight. All snow on the hills, cold and breezy, 30 to 37. The most amount of accumulation will be on the hills, where it could accumulate up to 2 inches by tomorrow, Jay.
Okay, thank you, Dakota.
You're welcome.
That's going to do it for us today. Of course, news continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com. We're back tomorrow with a little Halloween fun, so be sure to stay tuned for that. And of course, when you're on the go, stay in the know by downloading our mobile app. We'll leave you with this live look over Chautauqua Lake. Have a great day.